Hello, hello. Basketball is fantastically good. My name is Jay Mann. This is a summer off-season episode of the Ringer NBA show. This is a chair I haven't sat in a while, especially with the guy who's on the other end of the line here. I never know where he is exactly. He might be in Delaware. He might be riding through the desert in his truck to Las Vegas. I never know what he's up to. Tyler Parker is on the other end of the line here. Tyler, how's your summer been? Have you been outside? Are you just coming down from the champagne drunkenness of the OKC title? What's your life been like? Just kind of a tour of celebration? Give me a rundown.
Yeah, no, I haven't gone full JR. Like, I've worn a shirt, I've
I'm
tried to keep the shirt on.
Yeah.
For the most part, but it's been a summer of Thanksgiving, a summer of joy, a summer of feeling much better than just I ever have before, I think,
Yeah.
And so it's nice, man. The view from the top of the mountain there's a reason that people, try to get here. It's pretty pretty.
Yeah. Was there any kind of measure of you that once you got to the top, was there any part of you that was like, oh, this is it? Like, or was it as fulfilling as you thought it would be? Because you never won a title. Well, you've got OU, I guess. You've got that pitiful thing over there, OU football. Let's been really humbled in the SEC, I think.
Let's chill all the way. Let's chill all the way out. Let's. I don't know if we need to restart the pod, Jessie, or.
I'm in my right mind. I just think
you
guys talked a big game and you came in the SEC, and I think,
who did?
Coming back down to earth a little. I don't know. I'm not saying Kentucky's going to beat you, but not ruling it out.
I'm not saying that either. And I feel like that hell is freezing hearing a Kentucky fan talk about football in a big-chested way, but I'm not going to take any shots at UK because I have a lot of respect for the Stoopses.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I'm not gonna cut Mark at the knees or anything, but hopefully OU wins a few more games this year.
Sure.
Sure. No, it's been a good summer. It's been nice to, have a little bit of downtime, getting to play with the girls and stuff, and just enjoy not having to have my eyes on a TV all night.
Yeah. For now, there's a little exhale here. We're a little bit like teachers. We get a little break, and then it gets intense. So that's kind of been the vibe across the NBA scene. A lot of people unplugging because the race is long and it is a sprint. You run. There's no jogging. You gotta sprint. And before the fire hose of basketball opens, one of the little bones of news activity. There's a few little small things that if we get to them, we'll get to them. That they're amusing pieces of news that I hope we can get to. But one of the things that is a very strict official order of business is the schedule. The schedule came out, so the schedule is dense. I want to get to sort of the fun parts of the schedule before we launch into the competitive nitty gritty measuring teams against each other, and we'll get to that. But from 35,000 feet, Tyler, we're just looking at this schedule. The big thing that they kind of pitch it on is opening night. Opening night, we're going to have OKC versus Houston. They've done an interesting thing here where they've put the sort of geriatric superstars against each other. They're not trying to kind of spread, we're getting the youngs versus the youngs. How are you feeling about, my first thought here is, do you think that there is a possibility that on opening night, Houston, how riled up do you think that Houston is going to be to come in there and sort of spoil the broth from the beginning here and get a news cycle going of like, oh, Houston is coming for OKC? And is that on your mind at all?
Yeah, no, I think that is definitely the mindset they'll come into the game with. How could they not? Like if you're on that team, yeah, you would want to be, especially if that's ring night. And especially if you're Kevin Durant coming back to Oklahoma City for ring night, I think that will be a extremely motivated visitors locker room that, yeah, I mean, I don't think it would shock anybody if the Rockets beat the Thunder. If it's some beat down and like, then yes, I think news cycles will probably start regardless. If it's unless the Thunder just walk all over them, and in which case it'll be like, well, it's still early. The Rockets got to learn how to play together. But like, if it's a close game, I think that it'll be like, it'll be a um, something that leads a lot of pods. Like I think it because people are deservedly very excited about the Rockets. I mean, they obviously project to be really, really good and really fun. And so I love that the Thunder are playing them on opening night. I think it'll be a fun game with like two teams that are just filled with a bunch of dogs that, are going to try to kind of meet the moment.
Yeah. From a broader perspective here, I think something that comes out, we get all kinds of cool analytics about like back-to-backs and what teams are going to be playing the teams that are on the fewest back-to-backs versus the most back-to-backs. So we start to get an idea of like what schedules are harder than others. Overall, it ranges in that like 13 to 16 back-to-backs total on the schedule. So 5 teams are going to be playing 16 back-to-backs. One of them is the Philadelphia 76ers. There has been a lot of energy from Sixers fans who are already, they're seeing
Sure.
they're seeing Paul George in the brace. They're wondering, will Joel Embiid ever be Joel Embiid again? I can imagine how seeing that would be a tough beat if you're a Sixers fan.
No, yeah, I think I think even like taking Paul George out of the equation, right? Like yeah, you're devastated if you see that that's happening with Embiid coming back. The one I'm kind of excited to watch or at least intrigued to watch the Sixers. You know what I mean? Like Maxey and McCain are a really fun duo back there, and I think could really light things up if things fall the right way. Especially if Embiid or PG are able to give them anything, and they're able to play off of those guys too. Like that. That just I I'm really high on McCain and on Maxey. I think that in a few years that backcourt will be lava. Like I think that's one of the most exciting backcourts that the league's going to have going forward here for the next, whatever 7-8 years. So I think that having those guys a year older and able to carry a little bit more of the load, I think hopefully that lets George and Embiid kind of jog back into sort of playing these games. They don't have to come into it from a full sprint and have to carry the load. But yeah, no, if you're an Embiid fan, you can't have been pumped up to see that schedule.
No doubt about it. Another sort of point of order, point to point out here. The Pelicans, according to Positive Residual, have, in terms of strength of schedule, have the hardest schedule in the league, which is, I'm not trying to pummel a dead horse here with a sledgehammer, but that's a tough beat when you consider the guy that they traded up to get is going to be out for a few months with a wrist injury, Derek Queen. In a ruthless, you made a point here about it's never been more valuable to be a member of the Eastern Conference this year.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, how many wins is that worth? Like being in the East at this point. It's one of the reasons, that these teams like, the Magic are a good team, but it's one of the reasons that like, your eyebrows kind of go up whenever you start looking at that roster and stuff like that. The same thing with the Pistons, right? You're like, oh, all of a sudden, these teams that feel like they should have been a couple steps away from making a conference finals, like now it's extremely feasible that one of those two teams could wind up in the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's it'll be cool that it gives maybe another team who was on the doorstep a chance to kind of play in the waters of the conference finals and see how they react to that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, the East is wanting this year, and the bottom of that conference is a shit show. And those teams, the Knicks, the Pistons, people like that are going to be at the top of the East. I mean, they could feast. You know
The
what I mean? Like
Cavs. Yeah.
The Cavs going to win what 65 games. I mean, like how many games are the Cavs going to win?
I like the Alonzo pickup for them. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's you offload some of the issues. I think you add more connectivity. Obviously, he's got the size. It's good to just see him healthy. Period. But another kind of broader point here that I was going to say, Jessie brings up in our chat that the Sixers also another head shaker for them is have the second biggest decrease in national games. The Suns are first. Followed by the Sixers and the Pelicans. The Celtics actually had a pretty huge drop-off in national games this year as well. I think they're down to like 25 or something like that. But when that's all that's the vegetables. We get all the matchups that we want. It's different from college because the college schedule always gets me really excited because it's more condensed. We get to see the home and home atmospheres. You get the one shot at some of the teams. With the NBA schedule, basketball is just more available than it's ever been. And a big reason why that's the case is because League Pass is more in the streaming era, is more accessible than it's ever been. For me, I wanted to just kind of talk about, because Tyler this past year did League Pass rankings for the site that were awesome. They're always, it gives you a lot of leg room to sort of flail and kick and do whatever it is that you want to do. A lot of studio space.
Those were player specific.
Yeah,
like it wasn't team driven. It was like Amen Thompson is a jet plane. You know what I mean? Like there's more of that stuff.
Yeah. What I wanted to do today, getting to sort of the why we're here, what we want to accomplish, is I just wanted to go through the League Pass rankings, my League Pass rankings for teams. We're going to go into more. We're going to go into some of the more specific players or people that we think have a chance, or they are candidates to be, premier sort of League Pass entities. Last year, you mentioned Amen Thompson, whose middle name is Excellency. I just always have to bring that up, as is his brothers. He was your MVP, and we'll talk about him more specifically, but I'll count down. These are I didn't do 10. We'll do the top 9. Number 9 for me is, you mentioned how the East is sort of a wasteland, so it was sort of hard to pick. There are some sort of honorable mentions. Like, I do think that, and this person will probably come up more over the course of the pod, God willing. Like the Nets, I think could have the potential to just be funny on some nights, because you have just the fact that Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. are going to be playing next to each other is going to be some like AAU EYBL shit. Like, it could be just it could be wild. Yeah, that's my first honorable mention.
No, I mean, there's going to be some knockdown dragouts to see who gets to shoot the ball between those two guys. Like, they may just stop passing to one another at a certain point. MPJ taking a bit of a step down from playing with Jokic to, and I'm a Cam Thomas apologist. I think he lives Moss. I think he is one of our finest heat check artists and one of our finest gunners. You know what I mean? Like, that is that's a virtue as far as I'm concerned. But probably a little different playing with the shot a minute Cam Thomas than
it's probably
the greatest
good that
passer alive.
That the Nets drafted all passers in the draft. Maybe that was their thinking. Right? It actually makes a lot more sense. We need a lot of passes to go around, a lot of passes, and that one makes a lot of sense for me. I was going to say that has any player benefited from being imported into a situation with a particular teammate than MPJ did with Jokic? Like, how would his career have been different not going to try to make this an MPJ pod, but it might end up being inevitable. But I just can't. Is there a more perfect person on earth for him to have been paired with? Because you mentioned how Jokic is such a giving lover on the court, how he could take what did you say? He could take a pile of sticks and turn it into a connecting, a bonding moment with someone else. Like, I just can't imagine a better situation for a player.
Yeah, he fell, ass backwards into the lap of luxury for sure, getting to play with him. I mean, it's, he falls in the draft because of his back, and all those things are well known. But yeah, for a catch and shoot guy who is gigantic and can see over the defense and be seen over the defense, maybe more importantly in this case, you can't ask for a better situation than what he found himself in. So yeah, I don't know how it'll go. I think that he might be in for a pretty rude awakening and look back and be like, oh shit, that grass was really green. I thought it was green, but that grass was
grass is green in Colorado. It's beautiful out there.
Kelly green.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the Nets will be an interesting watch. I don't imagine the Nets are on your.
No, they're not. They're honorable mention. Another honorable mention that I wanted to bring up, I know we both have an affinity for this situation, is the Jazz. I really I like the Walter Clayton Jr. Ace Bailey combo. I'm so
excited for Walter Clayton Jr., man. Especially after watching him in Summer League too and seeing some of that stuff kind of translate. I mean, I know it's Summer League. I know that if they play bad, it doesn't matter. If they play good, it doesn't matter. But the something about the confidence and how smooth everything still was. Yeah, no, I'm big Walter Clayton Jr. guy.
Yeah. Number 9 on my list, and this is driven by, revenge tour, I think is going to be a theme for some of the teams. There's going to be you forgot about us thing going on with some of the teams in the East specifically. Number 9, though, is just Skinny Luka, the Lakers. I'm very curious to see what is going to happen with Skinny Luka here. And also potential weirdness, ongoing weirdness. There could be like some LeBron behavioral kind of stuff driving some of the news cycle stuff with the Lakers that I think is going to be interesting. My first question, though, for you with the Lakers is how skinny is too skinny for Luka? Do you think he risks losing something with losing all the weight, like with the way that he plays?
He certainly risks it because he uses those shoulders like battering rams, and if he gets you on his hip, he's strong enough that he nobody's going to be able to really bump him off his spot. Does that take a hit with him? Hopefully he maintains enough mass, right? That stuff is still able to be part of his game. It is like, I remember when LeBron got super skinny, it was like there was all those rumors about like, did he just get really skinny to be in Trainwreck and then he put more, or was it
LeBron's had like a Ben Affleck body career? You're like, Ben Affleck, he's rail thin. Oh, he's no, it's probably more. It's probably not fair, but it's very up and down. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure the rumor that he lost weight for Trainwreck is wildly unfair too. But like, I just remember him coming into that season like noticeably thinner, and he was better at a higher playing weight. You know what I mean? Like there's to me, Luka never like, body style wise, like looked all that out of shape. It was just the conditioning seemed to be a disaster, and he was always comfortable taking a few seconds to complain about a no call before he got back on defense, and that stuff kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. Like it's obviously good that he is more in shape. Like I'm not trying to zag and be like, uh-oh, but to answer your question, yes, there probably is a too skinny version of Luka.
Yeah. I mean, Cade went through some of that when he first came into the league. I pointed this out a lot.
I'm not ready to say that like I don't think Luka's in any danger of being too skinny right now. Like maybe the season starts and
you just wonder. You just wonder. That's all I'm saying. I'm not passing a verdict or something here. I'm just saying. I've wondered. I have. Kentucky had a kid named Dakari Johnson who moonlighted with the Thunder for a little bit.
I remember Dakari,
and he had a big old butt when he came to Kentucky. He was a heavy kid, and he would just pummel people, and it was fun to watch. And then he lost weight because he thought he needed to do that to go to the NBA, and it just neutralized him. And I'm just pointing it out. That's all I'm saying. You know, I remember when I was pretty fat in college,
and people Dakari Johnson have a lot in common.
Yeah, they have a ton. No, I mean, I went to college. My uncle, actually, who's outside my house with my dad working on something right now, he was like, "You're going to gain weight in college." He was like messing with me, I'm pretty sure. But I was like, "No, I won't." Totally did. Went to college, gained like 50 pounds. But I remember people bouncing off of me in the lane in a way that they never did in the past. And I was just like, oh, anyway, it always comes to mind.
No, but I think if you hit up Luka, if Luka does struggle early on, I think if you hit him up and say, look, when I was at Murray State playing
100%.
ball, I think that stuff, I think that will, that analogy will bridge that gap and get him to see.
He'll probably dap me and give me a pair of Luka threes and be like a threes or fours. And I guarantee he'll bring me into the fold. No doubt about it. Number 8 is a total chaos pick. Now, I think like the broader nature of League Pass appeal, I was going to defer to you, and your like League Pass aura is just different than competitiveness, right? The stakes are lower. We're not like, you don't have to win. The sort of piss and vinegar sort of part of it is something that is a common denominator, I think, with some of the teams that draw your eyeballs. And I think the Wizards have a chance. I know I've talked about them off and on this summer quite a bit, but I think the Wizards have a chaos good thing going on with them, where especially they pick up Cam Whitmore. If they just spin Cam Whitmore like a top out there, and he's like has some like you should have been playing me energy out there. That's fun. Obviously, the Koulibaly. You got guys flying around. Dunking, I know, is dunking a key tenet of League Pass aura, Tyler? Is that a key part of it?
I don't think it's a key tenet. I think it's definitely a factor. I think if you excel at it, then it's obviously a huge plus for you. It's not a requirement to be a high profile, League Pass option, but it doesn't hurt, but it's not. If it's a team that doesn't have a bunch of leapers, but they're still, it's possible to still be fun to watch, even if you're not playing above the rim all the time. You know what I mean?
It's true. I mean, it's okay. It's not as good, I would say, but it's. I just think there's a teenager driving the Ferrari manual shift thing going on with young teams where they one moment they're going 170 and a 55 and then they can't shift the gears because they don't know how to play yet together. And I think the Wizards have a chance to be a team like that, and they're going to be pissed, and they're going to be when they play a good team, they're going to have that. Remember the OKC Poku teams? They just be like, we're going to beat the best team in the league tonight, and we think we can. Like that, I think that is like that's the essence of League Pass power, I think.
No, I hear you. I mean, I do think you have to consider that Poku's a one of one as a competitor, and we're not going to see the likes of him again.
His like again, yeah.
Unless someone in the league smartens up and brings him back overseas. When you sent me your list, the Wizards at 8, it definitely made me raise my eyebrows. Would I put them at 8? No, but I would be absolutely lying if I didn't say I was stoked to watch Trey Johnson and Kaishan George and Koulibaly and these other dudes try to kind of figure it out together. I think you're right that Whitmore there, I think he's going to come out and be very much in that mindset of, you people don't know what I've had to hide for these last few years. You people don't know how I've had to, you know what I mean? Like, you people don't know how I've had to tamp my own brilliance down.
It has been a pride swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about. You know that there's going to be a moment in December where there's going to be a text for Apple. I want Apple TV to let me program the notifications because I don't. That's where I watch League Pass through. I want them to let me write the headlines. I want them to be like, turn the fucking channel right now. Trey Johnson has 8 threes, and they're gonna beat they're gonna beat the Warriors, and it's the fourth quarter. Like I think there's potential for that to happen. I think Trey Johnson drives a lot of that. Moving on. Do you have any?
I do.
Okay.
I want to. Bub Carrington has earned the right for us to mention his name, I think, and also Alex Sarr. I mean, like he wasn't lighting the world on fire or anything like that, but the end of the year was better than the beginning of it, and former number 2 overall pick. Like that's a factor there too to watch his development.
And part of one of my favorite moments ever with you in a casino when we were walking behind them, and that guy said, "Them some tall brothers." He was walking with his brother. Them some tall brothers.
That's right. That's
summed it up. Number 7, the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. I do think that there's some Mufasa voice you've forgotten me going on. I think that with both of them it was labrum, right? Was it it was shoulders. They both basically had the same injury. Them coming back and adding the lubrication of Desmond Bane's shooting subtracts some of the I don't know. You talk to Magic fans, and a lot of them, I think from the outside, the national NBA people or the average fan would look at the Cole Anthony experience and be like, "Ooh, don't know about that." But you talk to Magic fans, and a lot of them would defend Cole Anthony in my experience. Right. But I just see a season from them in the decimated East. You were talking about making a run, taking a step forward. I especially think when you consider the Pistons, I was thinking about Days of Thunder, as I often do, and there's that part where Cole Trickle was the new hotness, and he is away for a time because he gets his eggs scrambled in a couple different wrecks. You know the story. And Russ Wheeler comes in, played by Carrie Elway. I don't know how believable that one is, Carrie Elway, NASCAR, but he comes in and they have a rivalry, and I could see that ramping up between the Pistons and the Magic, who the Magic were like, "We're not gone, buddy. You forgot about us," and some tension could arise there. So I think they could be fun to watch this year.
To do all of that and to also get Jalen Suggs back, I think, I think defensively they're going to be a nightmare once again, maybe even more so. Like Bane is not a bad defender at all, right? Like he's very capable on that end too. And I'm very, very excited to watch how Bane's deep ball can open some things up for Franz and for Paolo, kind of in the little in between areas that they like to operate. You know what I mean? Like the I think that he's gonna loosen the defense up a lot, and I think that their offense was in desperate need of more spacing, and can only take a step up now that more is going to be there. You know what I mean? I'm excited. Like I'm a big Anthony Black guy. Like I'm excited to see what he looks like this year. They are a team that is extremely scrappy and extremely competitive, and they don't take shit. And I think that stuff just travels really well. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I think their floor is going to be super duper high. I think their defense can keep them in games. If Paolo and Franz show up to the gym a little frosty, you know what I mean? Like I'm not. They're a team that I would be like. I would really be really really surprised if they did not look significantly better this year, at least on the offensive end, than they did last year. You know, like it's
big FU energy. I think with them, I think they're going to be pissed. I mean,
even
be ready.
Mo Wagner coming back, like is he's a good player for them. You know what I mean? Like that'll be a thing. Like they're
could have a Franz All-Star leap also. That's also in the cards, so that could be interesting. Number 6, just moving through here. Number 6, I think just the reliability and like the consistent brilliance has made him maybe less of an imperative to watch on a nightly basis. Granted, you could on a nightly basis just watch Nikola Jokic. and have a just very bountiful, plentiful basketball diet in your life. But I think he alone justifies just being at number 6. And on any given night, he could be number 1. I just think that we kind of know. I feel like League Pass is a little bit more for the fresh. The teams that we know a lot about, I feel like it becomes less of an imperative for them. But I think them figuring it out with Cam Johnson, bringing Brucey back, maybe we get Deron Holmes into contributing at some point. But I think the Nuggets, I think, are going to be a consistently fun watch because I think, and you mentioned that were they 1A or 1B on your concern list for you?
You talking about like as threats
Thunder.
to the Thunder as a Thunder homer? They were. I mean, they're kind of interchangeable with the Rockets at 1A and 1B. To be honest with you, like I think the Cam Johnson pickup is massive, and I think that'll be a seamless fit. I've always been a Brucey B apologist. You know what I mean? Like I think he for what he does, it just fits so well with how they like to play there, and I just feel like that offense isn't gonna lose a step really. And they took the Thunder to 7 games, so it's like that's respect to them. And then the Rockets, I feel that way because of just obviously the KD ad, Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, we can talk about that later, but those are kind of but yeah, I'm very, very pumped up to see what the Nuggets look like, just because it's like, it'll be a little bit, it's not just like that it's not just adding a new skill, a new player with a new skill set, right? Or whatever. I mean, there's definitely some overlap with MPJ and Cam, but like it's also just a new vibe kind of in the building. You know what I mean?
I think retooling around your core is just essential. If you watch over the years, over the best dynasties, I mean, even the Celtics in the 80s, they were like moving pieces on the periphery to sort of keep things fresh and to keep it moving. The Spurs, the way that they were able to elongate those timelines is that they did such a good job doing that. I think that Cam is a more intuitive cutter than MPJ. I think he doesn't have these sort of attention lapses that MPJ has on both ends of the floor. I don't think he's going to struggle to learn some of the ways that I just don't think it's going to be a steep learning curve for him playing next to Jokic, and Jokic bridges a lot of those gaps. So
like Johnson, Cam Johnson is a very, very smart player. You know what I mean? Like offensively, like that's a thoughtful guy who understands what he does and where he needs to be most effective. And yeah, I think putting a shooter like that with Jokic, it could just be bonanza,
Next on my list, the Pistons. The Pistons, I wrote in my notes, the Pistons are an old mechanic at a body shop in Eastern Kentucky, just sitting on a tailgate during their break, deeply inhaling the smoke. They take those deep draws. They don't. Ron Holland is nuts, man. I mean, I wasn't a gigantic fan of his coming into the draft because I was just really skeptical of him offensively putting it together. But the defense, we talk a lot about the Terror Twins with the Rockets. Asar and Ron Holland together are entertaining because they can guard anybody up and down the food chain. They're both great bouncy athletes, spindly, sinewy, powerful, and they got some shit to them. Both of them do. Holland took Reed Shepherd as a personal affront to his existence at Summer League. He was just like, there was a really funny moment where Reed was mic'd up. I think I talked about this on the Ringer NBA on the draft show, but Reed was mic'd up and he said something like, "Can't do that, can't leave me open, can't say something." And Ron Holland proceeded to make his life hell for the next like it was incredible. But the Pistons, I think Beasley had one of the best, like most productive off-screen efficiency scoring seasons in a while last year. I think he was top 3. Up there with the usual suspects of the Stephs and the guys like that. But they lose him, but they gain Duncan Robinson. The question, I guess, is just going to be, are they even going to miss a beat? Because they might not, honestly.
and that's before we even get to Jaden Ivey coming back, which I think is going to be massive, just beyond him being good for them. Like, if we are just talking about it from a league pass perspective, like, that's a big ad. You know what I mean? Like, that's another
he's
big
one of your sleeper guys, you were saying, for could be one of the key players in the league pass landscape this year.
Oh, I think so. Just because as the roster, as the Pistons have kind of filled out the roster, I think he's just going to be able to focus on the stuff that he does well, you know, and that's playing like a madman and getting out in transition and, like, you know, making shit boom a little bit. And that is something that we at League Pass headquarters love. You know what I mean? So I feel very excited about that. But yeah, I mean, just the Pistons in general, I mean, just completely grimy in the best way and very about it, right? Like there's they're not going to back down from anybody. They are going to feel like they're in any game. I think Cade gives them a lot of confidence and a lot of swagger. And yeah, to watch them last year kind of carve themselves into this thing that is extremely sturdy and isn't going to really get rattled. You know what I mean? Like, as a young team, to watch how they handled themselves in that Knicks series, like it was that was not a young team that just was in over their head playing it. You know what I mean? Like, that was a blow for blow kind of series and could have gone the other way. If a couple shots do some different things. So yeah, I'm really excited about the Pistons. And yeah, that's another team that I think it wouldn't shock me at all to see in the Eastern Conference Finals.
It's of all the years too. It's very possible. Right out of the gate, we get on October 24th. We get them at Houston, which will be that will be a feisty one. And then let's see, the first time that Orlando comes on. See, they play. That's all the way in April though, April 6th. And they play March. They play Orlando at Orlando, so they're going to have a lot of opportunities to get feisty with them. And November 28th at home. Yeah, I
think that them and the Knicks, though, like, I think that'll be ongoing. Series,
yeah,
that series kind of established something, and I'm excited to watch that kind of blossom.
Mm-hmm. At number 4, you were surprised by this one. I put the Hawks. A driving reason for this is the ascension of Jalen Johnson. I don't know. I always joke about there are these I know ball things that come up in basketball conversation where you can kind of
he's definitely yeah.
You tip your cap. You're like, I see what's going on. You're like, you pick that thing that's just fringe enough. And I feel like Jalen was that for a while, but he's 100% graduated to, like, this isn't just some, like, and it's not that strange. I mean, Jalen was like an RSCI, like, composite high school rankings, cream of the crop, top of the pops. He was one of the main coveted prizes in his high school class. Weird year at Duke. Gets undervalued, gets pushed back into the first round, gets taken. 6'10" guy with ball skills. Shooting has been the question for him. Passing the ball has always kind of been there. In transition, he shows a lot of things. He's built like a freaking Adonis. He's gigantic and ripped. And just so handsome. I was just going down. I was like, Kyle, you having a moment there? No, he's just a great athlete. And I think some of his ascension, some of his strength as an on-ball presence, I think has sort of paved the way for the, hey, Trey, the Samwise on the Mount Doom thing of, like, hey, share the load. I can carry the ring a little bit too, Trey. And that is what I'm going to be most interested to see, because this past year before last, 6% of his touches were pick and roll on ball reps. And this past year, that went up to 14%. He's still only 23 years old. The shot isn't something he's hunting, but it is something that he can hit when he's 1-2 open, Then you also got, some of the most curse words in the basketball lexicon if Porzingis is healthy. Lightning gonna strike.
Yeah, duck.
And then you've got the fun tandem of another set of Terror twins in Dyson Daniels and Reza Shea. I just think it's an interesting roster, and I think you're talking about the openness of the East. They might have some scrappiness to jump in there and seize the open, the vacancy.
I wasn't that surprised to see them the Hawks high. Like to see them at 4. It did make me think for a second, but as you know, huge member of the Jalen Johnson fan club and have been for a minute. I think
ball, man. Ball.
Oh man, I'm so smart. Have you? If I were you, I'd watch this LeBron guy this year.
Okay.
I'm really interested to see what. No, please take that joke out, Jesse.
I'll put that.
I think you're spot on with Jalen, where it's like, if the 3 ball does come along, my God, you know what I mean? Like that's a perennial all-star if the 3 ball comes along.
He and Franz, I think, are like right there at the threshold of, especially with the guys that are out, that we could see both of them make that kind of a jump. Like, yeah.
Well, and Jalen, there's a lot of fun passing stuff with Jalen too that I think gets swept a little bit under the rug. But that's a guy that can dime some people up. You know what I mean?
5 assists per game this past year.
No, he's
good numbers,
he's, and I think that, as you said, if the on-ball reps go up, that goes up too. You know what I mean? And to see Reza Shea in his second year, I mean, for the second half of the year, Reza Shea shoots like 41, 42% from 3 on like 5 attempts a game or something. Like he was playing well for the second half of the season. And you see him another year better. Same thing with Daniels. I also think adding Nickeil Alexander-Walker is pretty massive for them.
Yeah.
He was huge for the Wolves, and I think elevated his play in the playoffs too this past season. I think that's a guy that they'll miss as much as I love Terrence Shannon Jr. But Alexander Walker being added to that mix in the backcourt to also just, that's now kind of 2 guys that can be your point of attack defender at the top of the, top of the shell a little bit. And that's another guy that you could play with Trey that can take some of that defensive pressure off of him. You know what I mean?
Switch,
yeah. And so I'm excited about that. I'm with Porzingis is to the point where we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? His health is so up in the air all the time that I don't even really know what to do with predicting anything with him. You know what I mean? We'll see what his body says.
He's icing on the cake. And they have a Kongwu, and they have, they drafted Asa Newell's more of an energy big. The depth there could be a question. Number 3, number 1 picks drive traffic. Typically, people are going to be curious. And I think this situation, especially if he starts to figure out on-ball life, if he starts to detangle that in the first 2 or 3 months of the NBA, the Mavs. I just think Cooper is going to be in a unique situation where, if Kyrie were there, I still think it would be pretty fun to watch. But I think he, they brought in D'Angelo Russell. I don't really feel like they're going to just throw the keys to D'Angelo in that sense.
I hope not. If I'm a Mavs fan, I hope not, I guess.
But I think Cooper's unique situation, I think he's going to be fun to watch anyway. But I think in this particular scenario, playing with the players that he's playing with, I think we could see some pretty cool early returns from him.
I don't disagree with with what you said on Cooper. The Mavs would not be at 3 for me. But the flag factor is obviously a big one, and I agree with you that with Kyrie sitting, more of the ball handling, I think they're going to try to put in Cooper's hands, and that will be it'll be fun to watch to see what he's capable of, and where the holes are in his handle, and how he tries to compensate for those. What kind of counters can he add? Just stuff like that. Like as great as he looked as a scorer, I did feel like there was like a little bit to be desired handle wise, and that's to be expected, right? Like he's a rookie, who is only just now starting to like really explore what he can be as like this dominant on ball kind of guy. But like I agree with those things. I'm not going to be like tuning into every Mavs game or anything like that. Like I don't they don't get me going in that way exactly. Now that said, if Clay comes back and post Megan Thee Stallion has a little bit more pop to his game, it's got some life. Which is not out of the possibility. She's amazing, and I hope that for him.
Clay, you said Clay. Just as we drive by this, we got to get off the interstate for a second here and just talk about you. You had a shack. I was unfamiliar with your game to that extent. Moment. You were. I mean, I always thought Clay was a charming guy. He's got his own boat. I was explaining this to Megan. I was just like, I think women like Clay. I mean, he's got his own boat. He wears the hat. He's lighthearted. His dad was a famous, I just, we won't go too much into detail there, but I just think, what surprised you? I wasn't super surprised.
It wasn't any shots at Clay. Like, obviously a magnetic individual, with a lot of charisma. It's more a comment on how high the esteem that I hold Megan Thee Stallion in. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
This is one of the greats.
Okay.
And to see Clay with her, I was just a little bit like, hey man, I was not familiar with your game. So
good for him. Yeah.
He could take a big step up. It could be like when like a sort of an inverted version of whenever Fred VanVleet had his kid. You know what I mean? And he just goes ballistic. Maybe this is maybe this will be that for Clay.
I'm not trying to wish fatherhood on him, but
just like something changes in your relationship status in some way, and then you take a leap up. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, like there is a version of the Mavericks that I think is appointment viewing and legitimately fun to watch. I mean, with this, in the same way that, if Porzingis is healthy, has become, an exciting collection of words. I think you could do the same thing with if AD is. I mean, will Gafford and Lively, like, can they stay healthy? Will they be back? Will they be able to be as effective as they can be with like the current ball handlers that Dallas has? You know what I mean? Like, obviously they're not going to eat and pick and rolls like they were when Luka was there. How they get their stuff will change. But yeah, that's one of those, like, I just want to kind of see how it works before I start putting them too high on my rankings. You know what I mean?
Sure. Um, I'll just rattle off the last two here for time's sake. The Rockets at number 2. They were high last year. They were really fun last year. Some of the biggest line stepping energy in the whole league. Amen was your league pass MVP. I expect them, since they offloaded Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, his on ball opportunities are going to have to go up even more. But I think there's room for him to expand, and I think he's probably the best athlete in the NBA right now. Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, he is. He's the guy in the NBA now that is most likely to do something that makes you think there's something wrong with your internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's the guy who is going to go from point A to point B, and it's going to feel like that there was like a glitch and like the screen jumped a little bit. Like, there's, because it's not just jumping, right? Like, it's not. It's
incredible speed. Yeah,
laterally, he's incredible. End to end speed. It's just, it's bananas, man. Like,
is he
the yeah.
Is he the best closeout defender in the NBA right now? Like, I know on his on ball stuff is
you're better at that sort of stuff than me,
dude. The stuff that he dissuades. There was a play that I was watching where he was literally in the short corner by the free throw, like the free throw line and the baseline, like by that corner on the baseline. Naz Reid caught the ball on the right wing, and Amen starts to move towards him, and Naz Reid was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna be able to get this off." He kicks it to the corner, and Amen shifts and goes over. I've just never seen someone so territorial, like covering ground. Like, he just contests things. He recovers and contests things. That's just what I mean. Like, in terms of like covering open space, he's just a phenomenal talent. I mean, it's like OG. It's a high list of guys. Kawhi's not flying around quite like that anymore, but Amen does some incredible stuff closing out on shooters.
He would be a reason to buy a ticket. You know what I mean? To get to see him in person. Like, he is, I think he's one of those players now where that physically he's capable of so much. You just, you want to see, because sometimes it's not the plays that wind up as highlights, right? Like, sometimes it's just, he tried to take a ball off the back, like try to take a layup off the backboard, and like the layup just barely beats him to the glass, but like he's ripping it at like the top of the square and stuff like that. Like, it's just there are these sort of in between things you talk about with that closeout. Like, just him getting back in transition is a show. And so, like, the other thing I think with getting rid of Jalen is that was a defender that he was having to help cover for. You know what I mean? To remove him, like, I think they'll be able to put out some lineups where it's all positive plus defenders. You know what I mean? And so, and to see him able to kind of, like, he's so valuable on ball, they might not want to do this type of thing, but him in like a Draymond Green, put him on the non-shooter and let him roam, and you just kind of let him free safety it back there and just Ronnie Lott shit all game. Like, there's that they added Dorian Finney-Smith too, I think is a big thing. Just these they're going to have waves of these long defenders. It's kind of like, well, it's a taller sort of version of what the Thunder have a little bit. Like, you know, the Thunder are just better equipped.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. But the Thunder are better equipped, maybe like, point of attack. You know what I mean? Like, Kaysen, Caruso, Dort, these sorts of guys. But as far as like wing defenders are concerned, right? Like this collection that the Rockets have put together, like, it's scary, man. And and I mean, Finney-Smith has shown the ability to like make plays on offense when he has to, hit shots when he has to. They're I think they're going to be really, really exciting. I think Durant will have been hearing a lot of people kind of talk about him like he's not quite what he was, which is true, I think. But I think that motivating factor, he's going to, I think they're going to be very good very quickly, because he is such a seamless fit. Like, I don't think they're going to be the record scratches that you can see sometimes whenever you add like a big time offensive player to these new teams. Like, I think that'll go well. So yeah, I'm rambling at this point, but yeah, I think they're a Goliath now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like before they, depending on the night, they could be, really difficult. But yeah, to add someone as sure of themselves on offense as KD, I think just it can't not take them up a level,
Yeah, I think he'll slot right in there, and I think some of the scheming gridlock that the Rockets would run into in late game situations in terms of just shot creation, end of clock, end of quarter, end of game, he'll alleviate some of that stuff because he's just one of the best no dribble, off the catch. He can just make.
Van Vliet will be better in those situations because he's not going to have as much of a burden offensively. Like, he's just going to have more juice late in the games. Like yeah, no, I think they're going to be a bear to deal with.
Finally, number one, largely because of Wemby. I still just think Wemby's one of the most singular all-time aliens. Can't believe I saw that. No one else can do some of the things that he can do. I just still think that he's one. And we had the truncated season last year. It was cut short. We didn't get to see him and De'Aaron Fox together. Now you compound that with the fact that Dylan Harper is going to be finding his sea legs. So I think that, and he'll have some exciting moments. You got, year two, Stephen Castle coming off a great season. I just think that team is going to have a lot. I'll be curious to see how close they are to Houston, honestly. I think that alone. I just think the state of Texas, that triangle is going to be a really strong league pass entity. But I just think Wemby, if he comes back and he's healthy, hopefully that doesn't continue to be a thing in the way that it has been for Porzingis, where we worry about it all the time. But I just think San Antonio is going to be a really fun watch.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think like a large portion of it is like, I think because Wemby is capable of just doing things that people haven't seen before, right? Like there is still, as he develops and becomes capable of more and more, like sometimes when the crazy new thing has been around for a few years, it stops being a novelty. Mm-hmm. But because he's developing and adding all these parts to his game, like he just sort of remains one. You know what I mean? He remains this sort of new thing. Like, what can this guy do? I feel like you've talked about this before, I know, but it feels like it's like, will his like running one-legged threes that he will take off of like two bounces. So not really running, but like, you know what I mean? Like, will these things start to be a thing that he's doing in the league? Like, what? Just I'm interested for a lot of these, especially a lot of these big dudes. The thing that always lets them go to the next level, other than developing like a consistent jump shot, I just think, how tight can you get the handle? Like, how locked up can you have that, right? Like, if everything is smooth off the dribble, then that makes all the other parts of your game open up more. You know what I mean? And so, like, to see where he's at with that this year, I think will that will be a thing that will be of interest for, I think, the next like 5 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, as he just continues to grow and figure out what he needs to do. But yeah, I mean, could he get 20 blocks in a game? Like, probably not. But like
20. Could he get 15? 10 is very possible. I mean, I think he got 10 his rookie year.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could he get 15? Could we get in that 15-20 range? Yeah.
What's crazy for him? You know what I mean? Like, because if you would have, like, when Jokic first came around, like these 30, 20, 20 games, everybody would have been like, shut up. Are you insane? No way.
And how many times has he done that? Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, there is something to Wemby where it's like the things that he's capable of are things that nobody before him, like, there's the Wilt discussion, obviously, but like he's the one guy in the league who can sort of rip the roof off of whatever people think is possible for a basketball player. Like, he's the guy who can reset the ceiling height a little bit for like what we think is able to be done on the floor.
Yeah.
And so, for that, I don't blame you for having them one.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my League Pass rankings. We were going to do League Pass Hall of Fame, but we ate up all of our time. Just some of the ones I wanted to hit really quickly. Vince Carter, 98 to 2001. Some of the best appointment TV of my lifetime. Rookie Zion, rookie Wemby. 2014 to 2019, Steph Curry had some of the craziest hot streaks. Almost 400 dribble threes in 15-16, and he hit 43% of them. John Morant, Blake Griffin, though, was the overwhelming one. I don't want to dwell too long on this, but from a lot of the people that I heard, I mean, Blake was nuts during that time frame.
Yeah.
And then in terms of just specific runs, Linsanity, I think, was a pretty crazy League Pass run. Kobe's run in 06 that culminated with the 81-point game. The Heatles, the Warriors during their 73-9 season, Lob City. There are a lot through there. 7 seconds or less. You smartly brought up the 03 Mavs.
When they got Van Exel.
Yeah.
When they got Van Exel, that
shiny
was
shorts, baggy. Yeah.
I mean, he what he did in that series against the Kings that postseason, like there was, I forget what game it was, but yeah, he went ballistic in one of the games in that series. And yeah, just another guy who, like, in that Nelly offense where they were just running and gunning and it was, yeah, Nick, whatever you want to do, man, go ahead. Yeah, that was, that was weirdly like a foundational basketball thing for me. Watching that, being like, he was so interesting on that team because it was Dirk and Nash.
That team went to the conference finals. Yes. Van Exel, Dirk, Nash, LaFrance. Let's see. Finley, Raja Bell, Tariq Abdul-Wahid, as I said, Walt Williams, Nahara, another good one, Oklahoma, right? Anyway, fun stuff. And other than that, we talked about Gallinari's wife got bitten by a shark. You had a quick take on that?
Oh, you want me to say that take? No, I mean, my joke take was, well, she deserved it. That's where he lives, not her.
Yeah, that's.
Or I mean, maybe it was a female shark, but I don't know if I want to be saying that on a podcast. Though.
That's fine. And all right, well, I guess that's all. You can continue to hit us up with your League Pass rankings for this year, or start to do it, however, whatever. And we're going to be coming back with as we ramp up to real basketball time. Enjoy your downtime. Formulate your theories and hit me with them, whatever it is. And Tyler, good to see you. Jessie, good to see you as well. Are all hearts clear? If so, we're going to get out of here. Good to see you guys, and we'll catch you next time.